Could I build a Logigate simulator from scratch in just 1 week, using nothing but C++ and OpenGL, no game engine, just code? The goal was simple: create a simulator where you can place logic gates, connect them together, and watch circuits come to life. I had only 7 days to make this happen. The first day wasn't visually exciting, but it was very important. I built a camera as well as an essential application structure. So here's how the application structure works. You have a component class, which the gates, LEDs, and other components, each with their separate class, inherit. Then you have the application at the top, which stores all of the components, such as gates and LEDs, in an array. And when the application runs, it iterates through this array and renders each object. On day 2, I finally managed to get some shapes on the screen. I added camera movement, optimized the code, and added shape dragging. Fixing coordinate conversions took way longer than expected. On a more positive note, it finally started to feel like an editor instead of just an OpenGL demo. On day 3, I added wires. I fixed the wires so they wouldn't fly off randomly, and I turned on VSync so my PC wouldn't explode. With the first component actually added, the simulator finally had something to simulate. Day 4 was my lazy day. I only added LEDs and I just spent half of the day chasing random bugs. Wait, not those bugs, these bugs. Day 5 was where things started to get real. In the bit class, I created a callback to turn the bit on and off. It sets the color of the bit according to the output. The class also has an update function, which is run by the app each time to check if there was any change in the output. And I managed to get text working, a good start for tomorrow. Here's when I've started to lock in. I started adding labels to my components, and I made a toolbar as well. Firstly, I initialized the text manager if it hasn't already been initialized. Then I loop over each of my components to render the text, and I place the text roughly in the middle of the component so it's more visually appealing. At this point, the project stopped feeling like a prototype and started looking like actual software. On day 7, I saw it was my last day, so I actually decided to lock in. I made a better toolbar, added keyboard controls, wired terminals, gate graphics, and dynamic buffers. To be honest, I did so much that day, I can't even remember everything. However, not everything went smooth sailings. Dynamic buffers let me add as many components as possible while being memory efficient. However, I had this crazy bug where the screen would literally show random geometry. Turns out I had a bit of a miscalculation in my rendering code. I also had a memory leak which would make my simulator use more and more RAM until it crashed. I realized it was due to my text manager reinitializing each time. The funny part is that it was a one-line fix. Anyways, onto the final showcase. In the end, I managed to make a few nice circuits using some logic gates. I was even able to implement sequential logic. That allowed me to make an SR latch, which can store data in the form of RAM, essential for modern computers. To be honest, I was surprised how much I achieved during these 7 days. It taught me so much about focus, fast development, and also algorithm design. The simulator is linked below in the description on GitHub and soon itch.io. Thanks for watching and see you soon.